Hello, welcome to R&B Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing Halloween 2. Now, this is a sequel to Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween, and again, he comes back writing and directing this one, and the plot pretty much is Michael Myers comes back and kills people again. Okay, Brendan, I just want to flat out say I did not like this movie at all. Actually, there were only two things I liked about it. The soundtrack was really good, because great classic rock like Nights in White Satin and all that. And the second thing I liked is that I liked how Michael Myers thinks he sees his mom and she's telling him what to do. Other than that, I did not like this movie at all. I thought it was really laughable, if I could say so myself.
It was flat out uninteresting. In no way does Rob Zombie make an attempt to get the audience involved with the characters at all. You don't really care about any of them. I mean, he doesn't make them likable.
Exactly. Like, I had a heart. Laurie's back in this movie, from the first one. Now, I could not sympathize with Laurie because the problem I had with the remake was I couldn't sympathize with Laurie. In the first film, I felt like she was annoying and she didn't behave like modern teens. Like here, there's this line which I wrote down in my notes here where. One of Laurie's friends says, "Tell Miss Coolio, who's too cool for Schoolio." Nobody talks like that anymore. That was last time I heard something like that was back in 1998. These people, to me, just did not feel like authentic, real people. And here, speaking of not interesting, Sam Loomis is back, and he doesn't need to be there. He's out promoting his book most of the time. He wrote a new book about Michael Myers, and he doesn't feel like Sam Loomis. He doesn't feel like the old Sam Loomis from the other film.
Halloween fans will just be disgusted with this version of Sam Loomis, that's for sure. And I love Dr. Loomis, and Donald Pleasance as the original Dr. Loomis and all the sequels and everything. This film, they just spit on the character all up and down. I mean, there was one good scene with him I did like, though, where he's at a book signing at a store and he runs into one of the victim's parents. I won't say anything else, but I thought it was a pretty good scene.
There were some other underdeveloped ideas I would have liked. Like, for example, I swear in one scene there's a psychic bond between Laurie and Michael Myers that I would have thought that Rob Zombie should have developed. Like, there's he's out eating meat, and Laurie's a vegetarian, and she goes over to the toilet and throws up, and the way it's edited, it's like they have a psychic bond. I would have liked that if they expanded more on it. I think that would have been more interesting. And then it's never mentioned again. Whether that was a bond or not.
Yeah, this movie does have a lot of dreamlike images and a lot of nightmare images, and that stuff I really liked. I mean, granted, it just seemed like Rob Zombie was throwing in music video snippets in there, but that stuff I really liked, but then it went back to reality and back to crappy movie.
Yeah. Oh, let me ask you this. After the first 20 minutes, didn't you feel ripped off?
Yes, the first 20 minutes. Now, this is the same thing I found with Friday the 13th. It's like the first 20 minutes of the movie is really good, and then the rest of the movie just nosedives completely. And the first 20 minutes of this, it was really good. I was watching, I was like, he's making a pretty good slasher movie here. I mean, I like what's happening. I mean, Michael Myers is really evil and just a force that, is unstoppable. And then, something happens, and then you enter the awful film.
Yeah, because, I didn't like the conclusion of the first 20 minutes. I felt really ripped off because, it felt like it was going to become a good movie, and then when the conclusion came, I'm like, what? I felt so ripped off. I felt like I really put interest into the first 20 minutes, and then the conclusion came, and I'm like...
Yeah, and if they had followed the Laurie they had in the first 20 minutes, I think it would have been a much better movie, because it picks up right where the first film left off, and I really like that. I mean, Granted, you get some unsavory characters in there.
Yeah.
But here's something to note. Every time Rob Zombie introduces a group of people who will die by Michael Myers' knife, he makes the audience hate these characters so much, you're cheering for Michael to just stab them.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of stabbings, every time someone gets killed in this movie, they are stabbed at least 30 times. Another note to bring up is the only likable character in this movie, at least from my point of view, was Sheriff Brackett, played by Brad Dourif. And he does a great job, as he does in most things he acts in. And he was really the only character I really cared for in the movie.
Yeah.
And
he felt authentic. Like, there is a scene where they're closing in on Michael Myers and Sam Loomis shows up, and the sheriff is really ticked off at Sam Loomis because of his book. That felt real. Like, he was really ticked off, and I believed him and all that. But those moments were far and few between.
Yeah, and he definitely gives, I think, the best performance in the movie, or at least my favorite one. But there was nothing else that came close.
And I got a problem. What is with Rob Zombie and rednecks?
He says, and I'm paraphrasing, that he writes what he knows about.
Okay.
So apparently he knows a lot about hillbillies and shitty ass people, because the people in this movie are not all likable. They're all rednecks, and it's a.
I'm sure not all rednecks are like that. It's like a stereotype. You know?
He really hits the stereotypical character. I mean, they're talking about having sex with corpses in it.
It's yeah, that was horrible.
Who needs... The dialogue was unnecessary.
Exactly. I was like, I was rolling my eyes when that happened. I was like, oh man, I couldn't.
You could not make these characters more unlikable unless they were punching a puppy at the moment. I mean, it was just awful. He spends no time making anyone's. Whenever a character is in peril, you don't care for them. Because he's already set them up as some sort of hillbilly.
Yeah.
Who's just evil.
Yeah. Oh, man. This movie I thought was so bad. And even though I liked the rock music, that didn't save the movie for me. It
was just such a mess, it's hard to figure out. I mean, I thought it was a better movie than the original Halloween remake.
I disagree with you. The original remake was way, way better than this movie.
This film, he takes it into more of the aftermath of the first film, and I like that aspect. It's a good premise for a sequel, is to deal with the aftermath of the previous one. And I think he does it in a good way. Like, Laurie Strode is having nightmares, these really bad nightmares. Annie Brackett has become like an agoraphobic, and Laurie Strode's become a party girl. The sheriff, is very protective of his daughter, and Dr. Loomis, just essentially tries to whore out the entire experience. Touches like that I liked. There were just small ideas I liked, but
that they weren't developed.
No.
I would rather, like I said earlier, I would rather have seen the movie where Laurie and Michael Myers might have a psychic bond. I think that would have been a very interesting movie than what we got with this one. This whole movie is full of cliches. Like Laurie screaming in that booth by the hospital. I mean, she's screaming and there's nobody around except Michael Myers. He's going to come after her if she screams like that.
That was really bothering me, because every time she in some way panics or gets nervous, she just screams, and like people are asking her what's going on, she just keeps screaming. It's like, tell them you're being chased by Michael Myers. How hard is that?
Yeah.
It was really bugging me. I was like, okay, just kill Laurie Strode, please.
Again, Laurie is not likable in this film. Like in the first film, she wasn't likable. So, yeah, the remake, I'd say, is definitely slightly better than this film, even though nothing probably touches the classic John Carpenter films.
This is just spitting in the classics' face, but you know what? The classics could be around forever, and this piece of junk is going to be forgotten. So,
okay, we'll see.
And I'm sure this film, people will pay money to see it at the box office.
Yeah, I think Halloween fans are probably going to go see it no matter what we say, unless they do not like Rob Zombie's take on it. I think Halloween, I thought the kids behind us in the theater making fun of the movie was much more entertaining than the movie.
Yeah, I wish they would have just given them microphones or something.
And after the movie, the guy's like, "This is the baddest movie ever." I don't know if he meant that bad as in good or bad as in horrible.
By how much they were talking, I can't assume they were too involved in it. But yeah, this film, not good.
Yeah,
not good. Although I like it more than the remake. You disagree?
No, the remake is way better than this movie, and
I think we have ourselves a snuff it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a snuff it. I can't recommend this movie.
I would only recommend this movie to Rob Zombie fans and people who like the remake. And I don't think there's many people who like the remake. And Rob Zombie should just get back into music, really, or make something new.
Okay. All right. Well, our verdict is we're both. It sounds like you're giving this movie a snuff it too.
I'm gonna have to give this a snuff it unless you're a Rob Zombie fan.
Okay, so we're this is monumental. This is the first time we both snuffed a movie. So we're both giving Halloween 2 a snuff it. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, subscribe, and please post comments and any feedback. Did you like Halloween 2? Did you not like Halloween 2? Go ahead and tell us what you thought. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Rob.
I'm Brendan.
Thank you for watching R&B Reviews.